Hello and welcome to the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent for this match day 6 Group I game between Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese champions, and Beijing FC. Contrasting fortunes for both of these sides in this AFC Champions League campaign so far. Kawasaki are flying into the round of 16 with 5 wins from 5 so far, scoring 23 goals and conceding just 3. Beijing FC bottom with just 1 point, which came in their opening game, a draw against United City. Conditions here excellent for a game of football, mid-30s in terms of temperature around this time of the day. It is a 5 PM local time kickoff. Water breaks set to be regular because it's very humid as well. So the 5 substitutes that both head coaches are allowed are sure to come in very handy indeed. So the substitutes heading out, Beijing FC in green with yellow trimmings. Kawasaki Frontale will be in their sky blue and black kit. Beijing FC normally much stronger than this on the continental stage, but due to overlapping schedules they've sent a very youthful second team, as the first team would have had to have missed 6 Chinese Super League games owing to the group stage fixtures and then a 14-day mandatory quarantine when returning home. So it's a side packed full of teenagers and youngsters. The oldest player is 23-year-old goalkeeper Guo Chun-bo. Beijing FC therefore nowhere near as strong as they probably normally would be in this competition. They were quarter-final achievers last year. At that point they were knocked out by eventual champions Ulsan Hyundai from the Korea Republic, despite having 63% possession and 22 shots. As for Kawasaki Frontale, they've had a dream of a campaign really. Couldn't have gone too much better. 3-1 winners against Daegu 3 days ago to make it 5 wins from 5. Also had 2-0 win against United City in matchday 4, 8-0 against United City in matchday 3, 7-0 in the reverse fixture between 2 teams in action today when they faced Beijing FC back in matchday 2. And they started as they meant to go on, a 3-2 win against Daegu in matchday 1, which was in many ways the most resilient performance because they had to come from behind twice. Unsurprisingly, as you often see at this stage of a tournament when a team's won 5 games from 5, it is a much changed Kawasaki Frontale side. We'll come to the team tactics and lineups in full detail shortly, but I can tell you that under Damião, their Brazilian striker, who has 6 goals and is the joint 3rd highest scorer in the AFC Champions League this season, is not in the starting lineup. He's on the bench if needed. You have Kanto Tachibanada to call on though. He's in the starting lineup. Is Kawasaki Frontale's 2nd highest scorer, chipping in with a very handy 4 goals. This ever-expanded AFC Champions League, which this year is now up to 40 teams. We've had 20 in the East, 20 in the West, and by the end of today, Groups I and F will have concluded, and we will know for certain who 16 teams will be in the round of 16. We already know the 8 teams representing the west side of Asia in those round of 16 matches, and the 8 from the East will be fully inked in by the end of today. 5 minutes from kickoff in not just this game, but the other game going on in this group. This group also, of course, featuring United City FC and Daegu FC. Positions in this group are fixed. Kawasaki guaranteed first, Daegu guaranteed second. The only thing that could change is if Beijing FC were to pull off a very unlikely win in this game and leapfrog United City into third, but that doesn't really make any particularly huge difference in terms of what happens next. Kawasaki guaranteed a round of 16 spot. Daegu may go through. 3 of the 5 best second places in terms of how they've done in the East groups will go through. So Daegu, with 9 points from 5 so far, know that only a win today against United City will give them the best possible chance of making sure they can go through as one of those more impressive second place teams. Our game today, though, very much more about pride. Here at the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, Kawasaki Frontale have the chance to make it 6 wins from 6 and complete the perfect AFC Champions League group stage against a youthful Beijing FC side, desperately looking to get their first and a consolation win this AFC Champions League group campaign. Kawasaki on the left in sky blue and black, Beijing FC on the right in green and yellow. Kawasaki Frontale with a team that is heavily rotated and unsurprisingly so, with a job very much already done from this group stage. Look out in particular for Kento Tachibanada, who already has 4 goals. Andrew Damião, the Brazilian striker, who has 6, is rested on the bench. Of course, these teams have been playing once every 3 days for the last 2.5 weeks in these very intense group stage fixtures. It is an all Qatari and Saudi Arabian officiating team, led by referee Mohamed Khaled Al-Hoish. As for Beijing FC, it's once more a very young side. Guo Chunbo, their goalkeeper, is 23 years old. He is the oldest player in this team. 19-year-old centre-half and captain Liang Shouwen has been particularly impressive for them in this competition. They were 2-0 up inside 4 minutes against United City 3 days ago, but succumbed to end up losing that game by 3 goals to 2. It was a really disappointing outcome from having been in such a strong position, but United City came back in the second half to take all 3 points. Now it's one last stand for these young players from the Imperial Guards, Beijing FC. First team will be watching at home, no doubt, with head coach Slaven Bilic. Reserve team head coach Zoran Jankovic has been in charge out here in Uzbekistan. A lot of eyes on there. Tachibanada has already chipped in with 4 goals across this group stage. Beijing FC looking to do better than they did when these sides met in match day 2 and they suffered their heaviest ever AFC Champions League defeat, losing 7-0. I want a bit of revenge, and at the very least to show they're much better than that display. These youngsters getting great yet learning opportunity to thrive on the continental stage. Many of them have not even made their Chinese Super League debuts. Into the countdown to kick-off for match day 6 in Group I. So Kawasaki Frontale in match day 6, looking to make it a perfect 6 wins from 6 in this AFC Champions League Group I. Have already secured qualification for the round of 16 and top of the table, and the guidance of the head coach Turo Oniki. They're kicking from left to right in this first half. in the sky blue shirts with the black shorts and socks. Beijing FC attacking from right to left as we look at things from our commentary position in all green with the yellow trimmings. Early cross in, and it will be a first corner of the game for Kawasaki Frontale. Zoran Jankovic, the former Bulgarian international and current reserve team head coach of Beijing FC, is in charge today for Beijing FC, as he has been throughout this group stage. Similar situation happened last year, except it was the other way round. The first team went to represent the club in the AFC Champions League bubble in Qatar. Well, this, a very similar squad to this, stayed at home and played in the Chinese FA Cup. Corner coming from Kozuka, comes all the way through and surely scrambled in. No! Well, that really was penalty box pinball, and somehow Kawasaki Frontale and Ten Miyagi didn't make it 1-0. Great goalkeeping from Guo Chunbo. It's allowed to flash all the way through the box. Bo saves not just once but twice. Super stuff from Guo Chunbo. Albeit the initial defending from Beijing FC was not exactly brilliant. Kazuki Kozuka to deliver again. Still there, miscued away by Ruan T Long. Pressure's still on, right from the kickoff. Ball back in, collected by Guo Chunbo, who can just try and settle the nerves of this very young defence in front of him. Just turned over eventually in the third bite of the cherry for Kawasaki Frontale. ball in from Kazuka. Results in corner for Kawasaki Frontale, the second of the game. Now Kazuka to come across and take the corner, right-footed, out-swinging. Doesn't beat the man at the near post. Is one of the first rules of set pieces. Beat that first defensive man, so by his high standards, not his best ball in. He'll get another chance here. Kazuka. Neat passing. Zuka's cross. Intercepted by Yang Shewen, who's one of the most impressive players this young Beijing FC side. Scored a brilliant free kick to get them a point against United City on match day 1, and when that back line has been under heavy pressure, he's been one of their most impressive performers. The ball down the line from Hasegawa. Slightly overhit cross. Still there though. Another cross and smashed over by Miyagi. Well, they almost seemed like they were toying with Beijing FC there, pulling them apart from one flank to the other. Eventually it fell to Miyagi. A very difficult skill to execute that though. Kawasaki Frontale with 5 straight wins in this campaign and won 6 games in a row in the AFC Champions League for the first time in their history. Once as a Japanese team, one more in a row. That was Kawasaki, who won 8 consecutively in 2008 and 2009. Kawasaki winning the AFC Champions League within that run, and getting to the Club World Cup, of course, as part of that honour, going out to Manchester United in the semi-finals after losing 5-3. Banada. Kurumaya. Will just about be kept in play. Good tackle by Dong Dong. This is where Beijing FC have got to try and offer a threat on the counter-attack, which they did well against United City 3 days ago, and that's promising. Shi Longfei wins the free kick. Had only around just over 30% average possession in this tournament, Beijing FC, and that's not necessarily the most sustainable way to be. It leaves you on the back foot and defending for your lives a lot, which can tire a team out. Pizza has proved they've been on the end of quite a few thrashings, losing 7-0 and 5-0 against Daegu, and of course 7-0 when these sides met the first time around in match day 2. By this time that game was already 2-0. Hasegawa and Tachibana had already scored. They went on to add 5 more. It's into play. Can't quite work a good shot on target yet. It does feel like only a matter of time. Kawasaki pushing and probing. Miyagi. Saka. Kurumaya. Yamamura. Beijing FC not happy, not interested, I really should say, in rushing out to greet them. Sitting deep in this low block. Miyagi gets it back. Miyagi's cross. It's another corner. Quite content to sit deep, try to absorb this pressure. Fourth corner of the game for Kawasaki Frontale already. Kazuki Kozoka. Given away by Showen. Tachibanada. Tachibanada once more. So often a key playmaker for this Kawasaki Frontale side, can create and score goals. So here comes Kawasaki once more, trying to pick the lock very patiently as well. It's on by Hasegawa. A chance to cross. Ranti Long is there. Ranti Long, who turned 20 in January. It's like a lot of this very useful and youthful Beijing FC side, promising youngsters to watch out for, but it's been a heck of a step up to have them exposed to a continental tournament. Many have played no more than at most a small handful of domestic matches in cup competitions. They'll certainly be better off for the experience. Kumaya. Yamamura. Kumaya on. Afforded so much space here, Kawasaki Frontale. They really are sitting so deep, Beijing FC. Saka, right fullback, playing more as a right winger. And allowed to. That's a good tackle, though, to break things up from Wang Hao. And just took a bit of a knock there, Ma Yu-jun. Going to be a talking to, but nothing more for Kazuki Kozoka. High press on here from Kawasaki, keen to get the ball back quickly. Maya. Knocked out of it there, Dayatono. Again, sky blue, black shirt swarming forward. Don't think as of yet from memory Beijing FC have actually had the ball in Kawasaki's half of the field. As Ranti Long is fouled. Maybe that will change here. Yes, it will. Shi Long Fei. Decent ball into the feet of Tichuan. Does well to keep hold of it. Looks up and hasn't got much around him though. It's well recycled. Just lost Xiao Chang. Now Kawasaki might have more of a chance because the defence isn't set. Just got the wrong side of Liang Shouwen. Foul from CHN. Just trying to sort of work his way back after the ball didn't quite find its way to him. He's still looking for a route through to get this group stage done with 18 points from 18 points. It's been very impressive from them. Persepolis from Iran finished with 5 wins and a loss, 15 points in Group E. So that's another good ball in the 5th corner of the game. Liang Shouwen this time in the right place at the right time to avert the danger. Ulsan Hyundai have 5 wins from 5 in Group F and can make it 6 wins from 6 against JPN United. They meet today. That game in a couple of hours. Suzuki Kazuka to take the corner. Low skimmer towards the near post, away by defence in the form of Xu Dongdong. On Tichuan. It's a very good defensive hustle from Dongdong to get the ball back. They need to get bodies forward to start a counter-attack. Back with Tichuan. Found the space on this right flank. Tiachi forced back. That's overhit. Looking cross-field for the run of Chi Longfei. Chambok Hyundai Motors finishing with 16 points from 6 in Group H after yet another successful outing yesterday. Did see that group table flash up confirming Kawasaki with 15 points from 5 so far, so if they win, might well, depending on if defending champions Ulsan Hyundai also win today, be the only team to go through the group stages with a perfect record. Really are on quite a run of things, Kawasaki Frontale. So that's a decent ball in, and somehow off both posts and eventually in. 1-0 Kawasaki. It really has been coming, and Dayatono combines with CHN to get Kawasaki Frontale the goal they richly deserve. Looked like almost the chance had somehow not been taken. Lovely work by Miyagi initially. Came off both posts, and CHN got another chance. Somehow didn't go in off Guo Chunbo either. Looked like Kawasaki were going to go luckless there, but it eventually fell back to CHN. Just wasn't going to miss yet again. His 4th goal of this Asian Champions League campaign, 2 in the reverse fixture between these sides. Almost immediately from the kickoff, Try and create something once more. Tono with the shot. CHN also scoring the 2-0 win against United City in matchday 4. Now he has a goal to celebrate in matchday 5. Midway through this first half then, and the Beijing FC resistance is broken. I mentioned what an incredible run of form Kawasaki Frontale have been on. Only set to continue here. Unbeaten in the league this season. You have to go back to a 1-0 loss against Oita on the 21st of November 2020. The last time they lost a game of competitive football. It really is quite astonishing stuff, the way they've been going ever since. Beaten in 21 domestic league games, not lost in 36 matches in all competitions since that defeat against Oita. It's not even like there's been a huge amount of draws out of that 36. Just 6 draws from those 36 games, 30 wins. They really are the dominant force and the team to beat in Japanese football right now. They've got to be one of the serious contenders for this AFC Champions League. No doubt about it. So they chase the second goal here. Volley doesn't work out. In once more. Now again through Miyagi. Ball in, cleared by CHN. Kawasaki Frontale have, since in their history being known as Kawasaki Frontale from 1997 onwards, never won this competition. They are really showing this year why they're realistic contenders, as they almost had a second. He took Kamiya piling forward and doing so from centre half. That really tells you a lot about their attacking intent as a team. Yang Shou-wen. There's the throw and a bit of temporary relief. Dong Dong off Kozuka. And Dong Dong fouled by Kozuka as they continue their duel down that flank. A brief spell of respite from the constant defending Beijing FC have had to do so far in this game. Again, the high press from Kawasaki Frontale working pretty well, albeit that is a free kick for a foul on Yu Xiao Chang. I don't imagine this will be a yellow card, but just a quiet word to Zain Isaka. He's clearly going for the ball, no doubt about that, but could get a fair bit of the man as well. the ball slipped in behind. Could be 2-0. And that's great defending from the Yang Shou-wen to deny CHN his second goal of this evening. Suki Kozuka to take the corner. It's the 6th corner already of this game for Kawasaki Frontale. He's got 6 options in the box to aim at, 5 of them in the bus stop around the penalty spot. Header back harmlessly away. Tsuyuka Nomura. One by Qilong Fei. It's been something of a game that's had a feeling of attack versus defence for long periods of time. As you can see, very rarely making forays forward, and when they have, not for very long at all. Kawasaki Frontale with 67% of the ball, and most of that in very dangerous areas. Just caught offside by our assistant referee on that side, Taleb Saman Al-Mari from Qatar. Another assistant referee, Ali Shumrani. Ramin Al-Jassim from Qatar, our 4th official. Could well be 2-0. Great pair of saves from Guo Chunbo. Outstanding goalkeeping. Well, if it wasn't for Guo Chunbo, it would probably already be at least 3-0, maybe 4. He's not necessarily getting the greatest amount of protection from his defence, but he's doing his job. It's really well to react so quickly and deny Ten Miyagi on the follow-up, because that was going in. Suki Kozuka to take the corner. Corner number 7. Only had half an hour. Both players jumping into each other, but nobody got anything of the ball. But it seems like between Ran Ti Long and Ten Miyagi, Miyagi has come off much the worse here. Sort of ends up jumping over Ti Long's body in an attempt to get to the ball. So Kawasaki will want, as they head on towards the round of 16 and greater domestic challenges, any unnecessary injuries from a game like this. But at the round of 16, matches will be one-legged affairs, played in mid-September. And the quarterfinals, 2-legged games in late September. Semi-finals to be played in mid and late October. 2-legged matches, and then the final, again 2-legged, on November the 21st and November the 27th. The east and west sides of the draw are kept separate, so there'll be 8 west teams in the round of 16 and 8 east teams, and that works its way down through the quarterfinals and semi-finals, and then the final, to pit the best from the east against the best from the west. Since the competition started in its current form in 2003, it's very much been east that have been dominant. 13 wins for clubs from the east. In comparison, only a third as many victories for clubs from the west. Of course, it is a team from the east that are the current defending champions. Also Hyundai from the Korea Republic, defeating Cephalus from Iran in last year's final. Frontale, the dominant force in Japanese football, but they've not really made inroads on the continent. showing promising signs to change that this year. Like plenty of other Japanese sides who've had success in this competition in years gone by. Urara Red Diamonds, the last Japanese team to win it back in 2017. Slightly late in on Chi Longfei, the goal scorer at CHN. And Beijing FC just trying to play their way out of trouble. And ball towards Tishuan, who did get there. Touch was a bit too heavy. It's easily the closest Beijing FC have got to the ball in the penalty area near Kento Tano's goal. I believe in the 34th minute is Kento Tano's first touch of the ball, the Kawasaki Frontale keeper. Plenty to think about for Zoran Jankovic, who said that this is a big moment for these players and a chance to take the next step. They've certainly learned a lot from this very difficult experience. Just 1 point from 5 games so far. Chipanada back. Lovely move this. Saka's cross and headed wide. All perfect until the final touch from Hasegawa. Couldn't turn it in. Gorgeous football down that right flank. Just guided the wrong side of the post from Kawasaki's viewpoint by Tatsuya Hasegawa. A bit too firmly to Long Tishuan. Ten minutes to go until half time. Got to keep telling themselves here, pardon me, Beijing FC, that if they can just keep things at 1-0, keep themselves alive in this game. It only takes one set piece, one good counter-attack, one link at the back from Kawasaki in the back level against a very intimidating set of opponents, probably side in better form than any team on the continent, and possibly in the world, with some beaten run they've got going. Saka. T-Long. Tono. Looks wide. Miyagi. Still going Miyagi. And smashed in. What a good finish that is. 2-0 to Kawasaki Frontale. A bullet from Kazuki Kozoka. You just don't save those. Rocketed in by Kozuka. Well, it seems like he's trying to send a rocket into the sky with his celebration as well. Miyagi's ball in, just sat up on the half volley for Kozuka to hit it, and hit it he did. That is a great goal, and it puts the Japanese champions in total control. Bo just didn't move. to 25 goals in the 2021 AFC Champions League, Kawasaki Frontale. Not surprise you too much to maybe know that's more than they've scored in any other Asian Champions League campaign in their history, and they might have number 26 here. Shot from CHN blocked. Bernard. Also the 9th consecutive AFC Champions League game Kawasaki Frontale have scored in. That is a new club record, so very much are steadily breaking new ground on the continental stage as well. That's a lovely ball in behind. Chance for number 3. Yang Shou-wen was there initially, and it falls only for Long Fei. Ball will come straight back at them though. Saka sends it in. Another shooting chance for Hasegawa. Falls kindly for Guo Chunbo. Also got, and who has 6 AFC Champions League group stage goals from only 7 shots on target on the bench to come in if they want in the second half off the bench to help them add yet more goals. Kawasaki Frontale with Brazilian Angel Damião ready and waiting if needed. Chosen to rest and rotate him today. He is on the substitutes bench, one of 5 potential changes if he were to come on. Here's Tiachi, a rare foray forward for Beijing FC. Long Fei back. Gets the return. Just a bit of momentum, but that's a good switch of play from T Long. Dong Dong. Wang Hao. Xiao Chang. If you can see the live standings, Daegu FC ahead against United City. So that would mean that they would finish with 4 wins from 6. Beijing FC with Beijing FC with just 1 point from 6, and Kawasaki Frontale with a perfect 6 wins from 6. They come yet again seeking number 3. It's a good block right at the end to deny the run of Hasegawa. Zuka, his rocket of a goal made it 2-0. The ball round the corner. Tachi Bernardo did well to keep it going. Almost gets the return pass. That's for a handball against Tachi Bernardo. The referee's not interested. Smashed long but straight to Tano, who plays sweeper keeper. Yagi hangs it up, caught by Chunbo. More crisp passing from Kawasaki, who right from the kickoff have looked such a confident, impressive side. Going to be real contenders for this AFC Champions League this year. And speaking of passes, it won't surprise you to know 100 more passes from men in sky blue and black than their opponents in green and yellow so far. It's been near half time. They really get it right and start knocking it around. It can be quite mesmerising and quite intimidating. Around the outside now. It's a good tackle from Xu Dongdong. To the last few minutes of this first half now. CFC trying to avoid conceding a third, which not going to be too presumptive of the result. You feel like, given the youthful nature of their side and how dominant Kawasaki have been, a long way towards sealing the 3 points before the interval. Kazuka, who scored the second so brilliantly, is over free kick where in the angle, obviously far more likely to be provider this time. Kawasaki chasing their third. Lofted ball in, headed over by Tian Wang Hao. Here comes Kazuka trotting across to the other side to take this corner out swinging this time. Number 8 of the game already. It's through everybody. Not part of the plan. Shi Yu Cheng just overruns it though. Would have been a really good counter-attacking chance on there for Beijing FC. It was a 3-on-2 in favour of the Imperial Guards. Had he managed to keep hold of the ball. Just 1 minute minimum added on at the end of this first half. Tachibanara. Shinen, who scored the first, sets it wide for Isaka. Tachibanara's header, sitting very, very deep, Beijing FC. But they've run out of time to try and grab a third at the end of this first half, Kawasaki Frontale, so they'll have to settle for the 2 that they've already got. CHN scoring midway through the first half, and then Kazuka making it 2-0 with an absolute bullet of a strike. Means that at the break, Kawasaki Frontale are in total control as they try and make it a perfect 6 wins from 6 in the group stage. Score here at the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent, Uzbekistan at the break. Kawasaki Frontale 2, Beijing FC 0. Welcome back to the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent for the second half of this Group I match between Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese champions, I should say, who are in total control at the break. 2-0 up against this very youthful Beijing FC side, who have struggled throughout this campaign, just 1 point from 5 games so far. And I'll be hoping to try and pull out something of a miracle by coming back into this game. While Kawasaki know that they can dot the I's and cross the T's on a very successful AFC Champions League campaign. They can make it 6 group stage wins from 6 as they move into the last 16. Daegu playing United City at the same time as this game. Daegu 1-0 up in that one as they seek a 4th win from 6. Themselves the best possible chance of going through as one of the 3 best ranked second place teams from the 5 teams that finished second across the East groups. Saudi Arabian referee Ahmed Khaled Al-Huish ready to get us back underway. After a first half that saw Beijing FC lead through CHN in the 21st minute, and then have that advantage doubled through Kazuki Kozoka with absolutely brilliant goal in the 37th minute, smashing it in from the edge of the area. Nature of this era now, where teams can use 5 substitutions, is that changes at half-time are a lot more common than they perhaps once were. Beijing FC making a pair of changes, and Kawasaki Frontale have made one as well. So Kawasaki Frontale looking to pile on the goals. Kawasaki Frontale hunting more to add to the 2 goals they've got from that first half. Beijing FC to somehow find something against all of the odds in this second period. Kawasaki in sky blue and black, attacking from right to left as we look at things. See that Forza Kawasaki banner on the far side, giving its support to the team. Beijing FC in grass-coloured green and canary yellow, attacking from left to right on your screen from our commentary position. And almost immediately the second half starts as the first half did. Kawasaki straight on the front foot to go with their 8 corners from the first half. They win 1 in the opening minute of the second period. As always, Kazuki Kozoka over the set piece. Decent ball in and headed just wide. So close to number 3 for Kawasaki Frontale. This really was not far away. Very good header from Ito Kamiya up from the back. Oh, very clever nutmeg, and the thoroughly professional foul from Ten Miyagi. And I mean professional, of course, in the worst context, in the sense that he knew exactly what he was doing. Pardon me, on Ten Miyagi. And he's just come on. Chang Mohamedi. Played down for Kawasaki Frontale, but back to his feet. Rare visit into the Kawasaki Frontale half with the ball for Beijing FC. Now the question is what they can make of it. Cheng back. Good spell of possession this for the Imperial Guards. It's very young Imperial Guards side. Can't be kept alive by Chi Longfei. Second corner of this second half for Kawasaki Frontale. Another good ball in, not properly cleared. Now maybe Beijing FC can foray forward on the counter. Good run this from Longfei. Needs a passing option though, he didn't have it. Does win the free kick as a consolation. It's a good breakout from Chi Longfei. Well, I thought that was kept in play, but maybe not. And that right flank by Wenfeng, who's just come on. To Aniki in charge at Kawasaki Frontale. The job he's done with them, unbeaten in 36 matches in all competitions. Still hunting number 3, Kawasaki. Certainly do look more likely to get number 3 than Beijing FC to get on the scoreboard. If you are joining us a bit late at the start of this second half, it's the first few minutes or so. A pair of changes for Beijing FC. Ma Yujun and Tang Wenhao coming off. Zhao Wenfeng and Cheng Mohamati coming on. And one alteration for Kawasaki Frontale. Shintaro Kurumaya off. And then Shoto Tanabe on. Little ball over the top from Tono. It's an excellent one too. Good cross as well. Slight foot on it. Overhit from the substitute Tanabe. Just trying to get round the back. That's something the fullbacks do really well for Kawasaki Frontale in this era of football where inverted wingers are very much in vogue. Fullbacks have become such a big attacking tool for so many teams across the globe. Of course, plenty of football happening not just in this part of the world. Argentina beating Brazil just over 12 hours ago now in the Copa America final to see Lionel Messi finally get some silverware and a trophy to celebrate in his national team colours. And of course, the European Championships come to a conclusion with the final kicking off in just under 6 hours or so. England against Italy at Wembley Stadium in England. Tanabe. Tono. Lovely turn. And the finish is almost as brilliant. And it eventually is in. Well, incredible skill initially from Daya Tono. And then it was Ten Miyagi in the right place at the right time to guide it in. It's nearly one of the goals of just this tournament, but one of the very best goals you'll see from football anywhere around the world at the moment. From Daya Tono. Angle is so acute and he nearly curled it in. Has to be said, his shot, the rebound on his left foot was nowhere near as good. A bit of a shank in truth. But he did have a sliding challenge coming in on him in his defence, and it was not his preferred foot. But it only fell for Miyagi, and that is an excellent finish. So Ten Miyagi with the goal. Kawasaki 3-0 up. That will mean a lot to Ten Miyagi because the 20-year-old forward's been something of a bit part player for Kawasaki Frontale. Not even in the squad in 4 of their AFC Champions League group games. He was on the bench and unused in the 2-0 win against United City in match day 4. Now he has his first ever AFC Champions League goal. He's been trying to break into this Kawasaki Frontale team, which, when you've got a team that's on a 36-game unbeaten run, you can see why it's hard to get into the starting 11 or even on the bench as a young player. He's taken his chance there. Afforded that opportunity because, of course, Kawasaki already sailed into the knockout stages with 15 wins from 5 games. "15 points from 5 games, I should say. Chibanada. What a ball that is. Found space. And Tanabe just about denied by Zhao Wenfeng. Corners now into double figures for Kawasaki Frontale. With the hour mark approaching here, I'm sure they'll eye a few more goals to put the icing on a very satisfying group stage cake. In the 4 games against United City and Beijing FC, they haven't conceded a goal. The only goals conceded coming against Daegu. And 3-2 wins for Kawasaki Frontale against Daegu. Just a reminder that, of course, we already know our 8 teams who are through from the west side of things. Those teams' round of 16 fixtures confirmed. All UAE clash between Sharjah and Al-Wada FSCC. 2 matches that pit Iranian opposition against teams from Saudi Arabia. Tractor FC against Al Nassr, and Al Hilal SFC against Istiqlal FC. And then the 4th round of 16 match on the west side of things will be see Istiqlal versus Persepolis. So 3 Iranian representatives into that round of 16. More changes for Beijing FC. So they've made 4 of their 5 available substitutions. I would be very surprised if they made their 5th, because I'd assume they've learnt their lesson from what happened to them earlier on in this competition, when they made all 5 of their substitutions by the 70th minute, which, when you consider particularly how hot and humid these conditions are, it runs a real risk. And they actually ended up having 2 injuries towards the back end of that game, which meant they had to play with just 9 players, ending up losing against Kawasaki Frontale by 7-0. As you can see, that's how the group looks like it will finish, particularly now that Daegu have gone 3-0 up against United City. Edgar scoring the 3rd, Lee Kun-ho with the 2nd, to go with Nishi's 1st. Came in the first half. Zoran Jankovic cutting frustrated figure. It's been a very difficult campaign for him and his young chargers, and something of a hiding to nothing, turning up at a continental competition with all of your first team at home. Always going to be difficult. For those of you who might have missed it, Chen Yanpu and Gao Qin coming on a few moments ago for Yu Chiachi and Qi Longfei. Saki Frontale hunting yet more goals here. Been pretty relentless going forward. It's a decent ball in, but just a touch over hit for Sagawa, who made a bit of an inside run. Ball was towards the back post instead. High press on from Kawasaki. It almost works out. It's good work from the substitute Yampu to keep possession with Beijing FC. This is better from this young Beijing FC side. Good layoff from T. Shuan. Still haven't had a shot on target in this game. That's not going to change there. It's a foul just going straight through the back of CHN, who scored the first goal. Of course, by the end of today, all 5 of the East groups will have concluded, so we'll know the 8 East teams who will have made it through to the round of 16. We know for certain that in Group J, Shimizu Osaka from Japan have won that group with 14 points. The Kawasaki Frontale have won this group. Chambok Hyundai Motors have won Group H comprehensively. And Nagoya have finished as table toppers in Group G. In Group F, Tatham United could still take top spot of Ulsan Hyundai with victory today, but regardless, Ulsan Hyundai have got more than enough points that they'll go through as one of the best ranked second place teams, even if they ended up finishing there. So we can say pretty comprehensively that those 5 teams are into the last 16. And then it comes to how things shake down with the second place rankings. For those who might be a bit confused, it's pretty simple. Look at the records of all of the 5 teams that have finished second in these 5 East groups. And the teams with the 3 best records go through to the round of 16. Obviously, points is looked at first, then goal difference, goals scored, etc., etc. But incredibly unlikely it's going to come down to that tighter situation, it looks like. And Daegu, who are well placed now, 3-0 up to get a 4th win from 6, look like they'll have enough to be getting through as one of those better second place teams. Tachibanada. Now that's a great ball over the top for the overlapping run of Tanabe. Good sliding tackle by T. Long. All the goals they've conceded, I'd actually say Ran T. Long and Yang Shou-wen have been 2 of the big positives of this campaign for Beijing FC. Only 19 and 20, the 2 centre-backs that played in every game. This intense run of fixtures for a game every 3 days. They've offered real leadership at the back, and it's often been the midfield in front of them that's maybe not protected them particularly well, and their full-backs either side of them at times. It's a nice ball forward from Shou-wen, and on the corner from Cao-Chin. Showing a bit more confidence on the ball in this second half, Beijing FC, than they did in the first. Well, complete and unwanted record today, it seems, of becoming the first time that Beijing FC in their history have lost 5 consecutive AFC Champions League games. Hangzhou losing 6 in a row is the worst record ever of a Chinese team. And a ball forward towards Hasegawa, who's fouled by T. Long. Has got away without a yellow card for this, as this game enters its final quarter. We're at the midpoint of this second half. Zuka. way back, says the tattoo on Guo Chunbo's right arm. I do feel like if Kawasaki score a fourth, that really does confirm that there's no way back for Beijing FC in this game. Very tight angle to shoot from. Oh, but he scored from there. Oh, it's flashed straight through Guo Chunbo's gloves. Kozuka confirming that yes, it's my goal. Hasn't touched anybody else. He seems a touch surprised about it. I think he was trying to just whip it into a dangerous area. It's a horrible moment for Guo Chunbo. And Kawasaki Frontale go 4-0 up. And it's taken just a flick off the top of the head of Long Ti Shuan. But given the free kick already looked goal-bound, I think that Kozuka will be claiming it. Just goes straight through Guo Chunbo's gloves, straight in between his hands. Was travelling very fast, but he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt. I'm sure there'll be some debates as to whether it's credited as an own goal or Kozuka's goal. What I could see of that angle, I think it's his second of the game. I think he's within his rights to claim it. It's about whether the shot was goal-bound even before it got the touch off the defender. Could be 5-0. This time it ends up in Guo Chunbo's gloves. Trying to get the way out of trouble there, but once again, Beijing FC not really offering much going forward today. Seems like those 2 goals in 4 minutes at the start of that match against United City 3 days ago, very much an anomaly for them in this AFC Champions League group stage campaign. No shots on or off target today, not even any blocked shots. Not been anywhere near Kento Tano's goal. He's been a mere spectator really to this game. In fact, only Guangzhou, Chinese side, have attempted fewer shots in this entire competition than Beijing FC. Only Istiklal have had a lower average possession figure this season. Really struggled to keep the ball or do too much with it, but must be repeated. Very young side here. And half of the overall squad are still teenagers. Guo Chunbo, the oldest player in the starting 11 today at 23. The senior statesman of this team. That tells you something. Not the first time this has happened. Very similar group to this beat China League One high flyers Chengdu Rongcheng 1-0 in the Chinese FA Cup last year, and then lost 3-0 against top flight side Wuhan. The ball inside from Tanabe and just over. Great chance for 5-0. Shoto Tanabe burrowing forward from left back and playing more often as a left winger really since coming on in his second half. Smashed over. Beijing FC have still got one substitution left if they need it. They may well be needing it in not too long. Kozuka with 2 goals today. Shoto Tanabe was looking to add his name to the list here. What a strike it would have been. Got a reasonably clean contact on it, but just a bit too much elevation. Kawasaki Frontale Well, I was about to say they've dominated this game, but that tells you all you need to know. 28 shots. That really is remarkable. Beijing FC with none. It does tell its own story, as does the scoreboard. 4-0. Could well be a few more. There should be a few more in truth. They've been a touch wasteful in front of goal Kawasaki. Another set-piece chance. Kozuka will know that he's on a hat-trick here, assuming that he's claiming the second goal, which I think he's within his rights to do so. I'll find a substitute CHN on Bayatono. Gochubo just sorting his wall out. This is interesting. Just take a look at that. I'm laughing because I haven't quite seen this before. So under the laws that were changed recently, you can't interrupt a wall that's already been set in place, but there's nothing to stop you kneeling in front of it. So that's exactly what Ten Miyagi, Kento Tachibanada and Zain Isaka are doing. Now what's Kazuka got in the plan? Deflected and caught by Go Chunbo. You sometimes hear slightly benign questions and answers in press conferences, but would definitely be interested to get head coach Toru Oniki maybe to give away something of an explanation as to what was being tried there. I guess if there ever is a time to try it, then you'd say now is that. 4-0 up with 15 minutes to go in a game where you've also already confirmed topping the group beforehand. Next for Kawasaki Frontale, they've got Shimizu in the J1 League. It's in 6 days' time. Then they play JEF United Chiba in the Emperor's Cup. And they're back into J-League action. For Beijing FC, meanwhile, well, this squad of players will go home and have to deal with and focus on a 14-day mandatory quarantine, which is not exactly anybody's idea of fun, but very necessary in the current world. Again, that funky free kick routine. Beijing FC will eventually turn their attention back to Chinese Super League fixtures. There's been reports linking Slaven Bilic with the Fenerbahce job, despite signing for Beijing FC just 6 months ago. As of now, Slaven Bilic still in charge, replaced Bruno Genesio. Bilic, whose last job before Beijing FC had been with West Bromwich Albion, getting them promoted from the Championship and then relieved of his duties with them struggling in the Premier League. Kozuka. Nice little 1-2. Cross was too close to Guo Chunbo. There's a bit of scoreboard symmetry here, because whilst our game is 4-0, AFC have also gone 4-0 up in the other match in this group against United City FC. Jung Chi-in with the latest goal, the substitute. So they come again, Miyagi just wide. Somebody scored one today, and that was a good chance to get his second. Really have had chances to get up and close to double figures here, Kawasaki. It's their 30th shot of the match. Kawasaki not able to give Chunbo anything to ultimately be worried about. 30 shots, 10 on target, 10 off target, and 10 blocked. CHN. Banada. Kamiya. Miyagi gets the return ball. Miyagi might go himself. Ends up playing a big crossfield ball. Not sure that's what he was meaning to do. Kozuka now smashed over by Chinen. Ball out the back from Chunbo. Nice touch from Tishuan, albeit it's hit very hard at him. By Chunbo. So that's how it seems. Almost 100% certain Group I is going to finish. Kawasaki Frontale top with 6 wins from 6. AFC in second with 4 wins from 6. You see either result changing now, given both games are 4-0 with 10 minutes or so left. That really would be pretty extraordinary if either did. Tishuan has a go. Well, it's Beijing FC's first shot of any kind in this game. Decided that given it was pretty much the first time in the entire game that Imperial Guards have got within shooting range, you might as well have a strike. Isn't the worst hit either, not on target. Tishuan, who scored in that United City game where found themselves 2-0 up and then ended up losing 3-2. Got round the back here, saved by Chunbo. Could be turned in. Still not cleared. It will be yet another corner. Change for Kawasaki Frontale. Not a bad man to bring on when you're already 4-0 up. Well into the last 10 minutes. Andrew Damiao, who has 6 AFC Champions League group stage goals already from just 7 shots on target. CHN comes off. Pleased with his day's work. Scored the first goal. In, headed down, almost number 5. Good block from CHN. And by Saka, kept alive by Damiao, and gathered by Chunbo. Suzuka. Tono sets it wide. The run that is, but just running out of room in the end. The road runner down that right flank. Beijing FC need to make a change here. Already used 4 of their 5 substitutions. Thankfully they've got 1 spare if needed here, as it looks very likely Guochuanbo giving a signal that Long Chi-Xuan is done. There's no way he's going to be back playing, so Zoran Jankovic has got to think about who he wants to bring on for his lone striker, who's had a pretty difficult day of it, trying to put pressure on the Kawasaki defence, mainly putting pressure on them when they've got the ball, and he's been chasing after that back line. It is very hot, humid conditions. Now, at this present moment, Beijing FC down to 10. Chen Yanpu loses out. Damiel slips it through. Could be number 5. Miyagi slips. And the chance is gone. Kawasaki pressing for yet more goals. Scored 7 when these teams met earlier on. They won't get number 5 there. Good catch from Chunbo. There were some penalty appeals here. And Long. Good physical defence that did the job. Now going down there. Change being readied for now. Beijing FC still down to 10. ACL facts presented by Neil, bring you its latest one. Only 2 clubs crowned as champions. Chen Huai-Yang coming on to replace Long Chi-Xuan, who's injured and receiving further medical treatment. Xu Dongdong. A lot of defending to do down this right flank. Kawasaki have predominantly attacked on the left. He's picked up a yellow card. It's the first and only yellow of the game thus far. So Beijing have made all 5 of their substitutions. Kawasaki Frontale, by contrast, have not used all 5. Just 2. Look at Leandro Damiel, such a competitor. They're 4-0 up in the 88th minute, but he's got his hands up furious that the Beijing FC keeper Guochuanbo has taken so long to get us back underway. Leandro Damiel, like any good striker, hungry for goals. Miyagi. smashed into the side netting. Very unselfish play from Kawasaki Frontale, trying to tee up the chance. Andrew Damial's not happy. Feels like he was in the best position to finish it off. The ball never made it to him. Third change for Kawasaki Frontale, and a fourth as well. Double alteration. Tatsuya Asagara, the left winger, comes off. This does Katsuya Yamamura, the centre-back. Chen Yanfu fouled. Here comes Shogo Taniguchi, centre-back for Kawasaki. Almost number 5, but the whistle had already gone. Akihiro Ianaiga for Hasegawa and Shogo Taniguchi for Yamamura. As we head into stoppage time. End of the road for Beijing FC in this AFC Champions League, as we already knew before this game. Finished with just 1 point from their 6 group matches. I'm sure there's a lot this young side will have learned from this experience of being in this AFC Champions League bubble in Uzbekistan. 6 intense games in just 2.5 weeks or so. As for Kawasaki Frontale, they'll be in that round of 16. One-legged round of 16 and one-legged quarter-finals, then two-legged semi-finals, two-legged final, pitting the best from the east against the best from the west. That's all to come later on in September, October, then November. Now, can they get a consolation goal, Beijing FC? One thing down the line, Yu Cheng. A bit of defending for Aito Kamiya to do. Kawasaki Frontale will continue this unbeaten run. Haven't lost since late November. No defeats in 37 matches in all competitions. And finish this group stage with 6 wins from 6. Really doesn't get much better than that. 4 clean sheets in those 6 matches too. And T-Long just shuffled out of play. It's good pressing up there by Ten Miyagi. Kawasaki Frontale in great position for yet more domestic silverware to add to a growing trophy cabinet. J-League 1 champions in 2017, 2018 and 2020. Emperor's Cup winners last year as well. Japanese Super Cup winners this year and in 2019. Been on quite a run of things in recent years, a golden age. Now trying to take that next step of really challenging on the continental stage, known as Fujitsu SC from 1955 until 1996, then named as Kawasaki Frontale from 1997 onwards. Had this incredible run under current boss Toru Oniki since he came in charge in February 2017. Picked up 7 trophies. There'll be more to add, you would think. only tiny complaint you could make of them today is that they could have scored even more. 34 shots, 4 goals. Kawasaki Frontale will have to settle for 4 goals, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy with that. Utterly dominated this game from start to finish, and they've dominated Group I from start to finish. The deserved winners of not just this game, but table toppers of the group, with a perfect 6 wins from 6, 27 goals scored, just 3 conceded. They were always in control of this one. Beijing FC only having 1 shot in the whole game, and even that was off target. Plenty to learn for this youthful second string Beijing FC side. That's how it finishes in Group I. Kawasaki Frontale utterly dominant. Daegu FC also going pretty well. They pushed Kawasaki Frontale in the 2 matches they had against them, and were victors in all of their matches against United City and Daegu. United City and Beijing, pardon me, United City finished 3rd, and this young Beijing FC side finished with just 1 point from 6. So all over in Group I. Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese champions, now unbeaten in 37 matches in all competitions. They march on to the round of 16 in style. Beijing FC beaten comfortably. Full time here from the Locomotive Stadium in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Thank you very much for your company wherever you've been across the world. It is finished here. Kawasaki Frontale 4, Beijing FC 0.